Hi everyone. I want to take a minute to talk about what the graded work will be for this course for language and culture. Now, you can read all of the material in the syllabus that has like how many points everything's worth, due dates, all of that sort of stuff. I'm not going to go over that here. You guys can all read. That's not my goal. But it's really to talk about what there is and how it links to what I want you to learn. So, the first assignment you guys are going to do is a media literacy assignment. I'm very well aware that most of you are coming into this class without a background in linguistic anthropology, and this, in fact, may be the only linguistic anthropology class you ever take. That's great, that's cool. Most of you are not going to spend most of the rest of your academic careers reading academic literature in linguistic anthropology. But one thing that will happen, that I guarantee you will happen, is that you will be bombarded on social media by material, news articles, essays, short videos, all these sorts of things with all sorts of material relevant to this course. And part of my goal for this course for you, and one of the course outcomes, is to really get you to be able to think critically and to write critically about the material that ends up in the media that bears on the subjects of this course. And so we'll be doing a lot of work in the first couple of weeks, practice, working through some news articles and sort of seeing how we can take them apart and how we can evaluate them, both for good and for bad. That's not to say that it's all just about, tearing them to pieces. But the goal of that assignment, which is going to just end up as a 3-page essay, is to really give a sense that you can understand the argument that's being raised and show how the evidence may or may not bear on those conclusions that are raised, but also to think about a news article as a piece of media, as a piece of a particular kind of text, really as a genre that bears on that analysis as a kind of way of conveying information or not. So that's the first piece. The second piece is an original research paper called Lexiculture. And this is an original research paper in which you're going to pick an English word, a single English word or phrase, and you're going to research its social and cultural history, and then you're going to write a paper or report of around 7 pages. Now, I really think that at this stage in your academic careers, doing some original research, that is to say, rather than me giving you an essay where you all write an essay on the same subject, or having you read a book and write a book review, where I sort of send you out into the world and say, go find some material. Go find online something about the history of a word. Let's go and find where it was first used. Let's find how it's changed. This is part of my goal of getting you to be a better question asker, because original research is all about asking good questions. I'm making it really focused by having you each pick a word. I actually have a big list of words, and most of you should just pick a word from that list. If you have a word that's not on that list that you really desperately want to do, we could talk about it when that assignment comes out in October. But really the goal is to get you invested in your own education by asking questions about something that might interest you, to find a word that interests you or engages you, and that gets you thinking about what kinds of good questions can you ask and answer about it. There is a take-home exam, and it's a very unusual sort of exam. It has 10 questions of which you'll choose 7, and you'll have a month to complete it. Basically, the last month of the class will be spent thinking about and writing the exam. And part of the goal for this is to recognize that I really don't like the kinds of evaluations that involve a lot of multiple choice or even short answer. And I definitely don't like the kind of high stakes timed exams where we sit you in a room for 2 or 3 hours and hope that you somehow come away with something. I actually don't think that's a useful strategy for learning. But rather, by giving you the questions and then inviting you to investigate those questions, by inviting you to really tackle these little short essays, that what you're going to do is you're going to come away with a much better understanding of the material I've asked you about. It's not easy. I'm not saying that at all. But what it is really meant to do is to deal with any. First of all, I think it's nice because we're in an online format. I don't really need to change it. But the other thing that I really like about this exam is I really encourage you to talk to one another. We're going to be doing work in class in breakout groups where we work on questions on the exam. I really want you to take time and energy to invest in this exam so that by December 18th, when the semester ends and the exam is due, you are feeling much more confident about your own abilities. The final evaluation component are a set of 5 questions, which are responses to the journal articles we'll be reading. So each week, you'll have one journal article to read. And on the Monday before class, so we have class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and on the Monday before class, for any 5 of those, you will go on a discussion board on Canvas and write a little response question. Ask a good question about the article. Read it thoroughly and ask a question. It's due on the Monday before we discuss the article or before we meet to discuss that topic, because actually I'm going to use those questions to inform our in-class discussions on Tuesday and Thursday. So in other words, I'm not just getting you to ask these questions so that the questions will be out there and I can give them a grade. It's not about the grade at all, really, although, it's a graded assignment. But the real goal is to help me understand what you're interested in or what you may not understand fully or further want to expand on about some of the subjects that we're discussing. And so this is a way to get those responses and then integrate it back into our Zoom meetings every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, so that's it. Thanks, everybody.